Hello and welcome to a special analysis video. I'll be breaking down the finals game 3 between Ociti and Kochua, their Sivir and Akshan versus Nami match. Um, I'll have a description timestamp for when the game starts and when turn 6 starts, where things really start to heat up. But for the moment, I want to take a moment before I start to talk about the deck lists. So we got the lineups here: Kochua, or Ociti, Ziggs Poppy, Dragon Sign, Nami Zoe. The Nami Zoe deck list is a bit non-standard, the non-standard parts being Pool Shark, one of Bastion, one Star Chart, and one Making Raid. This would be omitting Hush and omitting something like a second Star Chart. It's a little bit non-standard, but nothing super weird to write home about. The Pool Shark definitely just giving it a bit more stabilization against aggression. Like, a lot of the Nami targets are either trying to A, run you out of steam with something like a control deck like Skathis Pile, and Bull Shark can defend against that, and the other mode of countering Nami Zoe is just playing Ziggs Poppy, and Ziggs Poppy is like very beatable from the Nami Zoe side, just as long as you have both Nami and Sparklefly. That's a free win. They can't do anything about that. You just have to find it. So Bull Shark just helps you live long enough to get to that point and beat those aggressive decks that think they counter Nami. But the one that's more interesting to talk about is the Sivir Akshan deck list. So the first thing to notice here is that the spell count is 15, which is like, that's really high. 15 spell count is like Demacia Rally decks, which have been around forever, are usually like, oh, excuse me, they're usually, when tuned, about 11 or 10 on spell count. And 15 is like, so for Sivir Akshan specifically, we can stop speaking historically here. Sivir Akshan, in the present, a lot of these spells, their power level of the spells in this deck necessitate their inclusion. Also, having spells helps out your Vagabond and your Auction. So it's really not bad to have a higher than 10 spell count. Here's an example of something with like a low spell count of a deck that has, maybe this could even be 2 absolver, you go down to 11 spell count. If you really wanted to go low, you could have 2. Differences that Kochua has gone for and his lineup has been a very, very anti-Zoe Nami bent towards it. So he's got 2 Screeching Dragons, only 2 5-drops, which is pretty interesting. A lot of times there's 3 or even 4 5-drops, but he's gone for less just so he's better against Zoe Nami. He's gone for less Concerted Strike, more Absolver, which is pretty interesting. I'm a big fan of the triple concerted, but definitely like, especially for the Zoe Nami matchup, Concerted Strike is insane. It's insane in a lot of matchups. But something that's not insane in this deck list is single combat, and I think that people are overrating this card quite a lot in Sivir and Akshan, because single combat is 2 mana removal spell, but it costs you a unit, right? And in this meta, there's not a lot of like fast speed or slow speed spells that are like killing your guy, and then you use single in response, right? That's really not happening so much. Like, there's not a lot of that. There's really not. Like something like Scion is getting banned away, so there's no like, in response to get excited, I'm gonna single combat. None of that, right? It's really like not a lot of fast speed removal in this meta. So single doesn't make so much sense. And the reason is like there's very, very rarely are you gonna find a situation where you use this, their guy dies, your guy survives. That basically does not happen at all. The only reason that it's actually even in this deck, I would guess, is because it's triple absolver and you're looking to just like kamikaze one of your guys in for damage using a single combat. Like, you give a guy overwhelm and single combat for lethal. It's very like, your guy will die always, right? Your dudes have like 3 HP at the most, and even the guys that have 3 HP, the Sivir and the Akshan, you really, really do not want these people to die. And even marking damage on them can be a real cost. So single is like, please cut this. It's a lot worse than concerted. It's a lot worse than even something like any other spell, really. Also, what's it called? Preservarium is like okay to go 3 of. Units definitely Screeching Dragon's good for the triple Demacia lineup. Um, trying to counter Zoe Nami is fine to give more challengers. Some extra units, Rune Runner, Vicorn options. You could also in this extra 3-drop slot. I've seen a lot of experimentation with the fourth 3-drop. If you're gonna try and whittle down the spell count, the fourth 3-drop is something that you're gonna end up coming across. Vigor Redeemer is one. There's the 3-mana 3/3 gives you a 4 Demacia, and then also Lorne Protege, depending on meta and what you want to target. Those are all options. But that's just a bit of an overview on this deck list. It's definitely a bit weird that it's running the Absolver as a 3-of, and it's a bit weird in the way that it's 15 spells. But let's get into the game. Game 3 here. Let's go full screen. So, starting with the mulligan. There was some definite times in this series and in the tournament where Kochua was getting himself into trouble with mulligans, mulling away things that he did not need to be mulling away, and like, I think that was the main issue for Kochua mulligans. But yeah, the mulligan here is a lot more interesting for the Demacia side because, you know, Nami mulligan is pretty clear. Like, you have Nami, keep the Nami, mull everything else away. You can like think about keeping for Nami you can think about keeping double up or not double up, blinding out. You can think about keeping Sunless Vigor, but if you do, like consider the fact that you're attacking on evens and their turn 4 is really scary. Like if you don't have double trouble, the opponent's turn 4 is so scary. Like you're taking a huge tempo loss because they're gonna develop. Let's say they develop Tracker on first prow turn 4. What do? Do you play your Nami? Do you like soft pass with a spell? It's so bad for you. Like I don't know, but yeah, ditch Burblefish easy. For Kochua Mulligan, it's a bit weird, right? Because you definitely want Akshan, you definitely want to see Sivir, and you definitely want to see stuff like Sharp Sight and Concerted. The problem with running such a high spell count though is you can't keep Sharp Sight and Concerted in your mulligan. Like you actually, maybe in this mulligan you can keep like a Sharp Sight, but like you really the advantage of running a low spell count is you can keep those spells in your opener and then still count on finding units on time. This mulligan you really probably have to ditch Absolver clearly, ditch second Brysu Protector definitely, and Merciless Hunter is like it's a little keepable, but when you consider that like the opponent's Nami is coming down on turn 4, sure. Or maybe turn 5 you're able to delay it. The issue is you can't really hard pass turn 4. As the Demacia deck, you're attacking on turn 4. You can't really hard pass that. You could go like Brysu Protector onto hit in for 3, play a 3-drop on 3 or something, and then like turn 4 comes. You can't super hard pass that. That's like not doable. So it's yeah, I'd probably mull it away, and I think Kochua does. Mulligans come in, ditching everything but Nami, and then only one Brysu Protector kept. I think these are solid mulligans on both sides. Nothing really to speak of. Nami hand here looking hyper cracked, but then again, so is the Sivir hand. So Akshan on 2 hits in. Nothing really to speak of for analysis. This is just like people making their best possible plays. Yeah. Okay. So this is the first real decision in the game for Kochua's. For Coach, or really for either player, it's the first decision that has to be made, and it's just a really simple one. Like hard passing really sucks here. Not a really hard pass angle. You don't have enough like time in this matchup to be hard passing turns like this. Even playing Bracelet Protector is a bit sus because, as we'll see a lot later, denying Sparkle Healing and also protecting your attackers is like a really big thing in this matchup. So Bracelet Protector is definitely a resource that you don't want to use. And another reason you don't want to Bryce Steel here is because you really, really want the opponent's 2/2 to attack you. This is like a situation in which you would literally PayPal your opponent to get them to attack with the 2/2 right now. Like it is so like bad for you comparatively if they leave it back. Like it is definitely a consideration if you're playing the Merciless Hunter here. It is a consideration to literally vulnerable the sparring student to like quote unquote force the attack from the sparring student, because you want them to attack that badly. Now, if the opponent like has a brain, they're probably I guess, well, I don't know. It's really like they could leave it back and they could attack with it. Most of the time they're going to attack with it just because it's autopilot 2/2 into higher priority units that are both 2/2. You're on 1 mana. Um, but I don't know. Simply vulnerabling on the 1/1 is the most like logical choice. I think the second best choice here is definitely hit the 2/2. It's definitely doable for either, depending on like what you think your opponent's gonna do and what you feel their like play patterns are, or their like style is based on the other games that you've played versus them. Like if you know your opponent really well, you might be able to like do some type of soul raid here as the Nami player and like not attack with the sparring student. See how vulnerable on 1/1, and the PayPal attack comes through as well for Nami. So this is the like best case scenario for Kochua. You didn't have to spend the vulnerable, or you get to have your cake and eat it too, as far as like getting the vulnerable and eating this sparring student for free. So I guess it's worth like explaining for the cheap seats in the crowd like why this is such a free Akshan kill. Is just because Nami needs to bank mana at all costs. It costs minimum 2 mana for them to trade up here with the Sparring Student trading into the Akshan with the Pale Cascade. So even if they were to spend that 2 mana, it's just an absolute catastrophic result for them because at that point, Kochua says, alright, I know you have no Nami, I know my Sivir can come down and start wrecking. It's just, the game like unironically ends at that point. So even if Ociti has a Pale Cascade, it's not getting used right now. So yeah, even if Pale, that's not going to use. Next turn, another interesting decision. The Sivir comes down. This is not interesting, right? This is happening regardless. Interesting decision for Nami. Okay, what does Nami do here? Because the opponent has 0 mana. You know nothing bad's gonna happen to Nami. So you can just this turn Nami is coming down for sure. The question is like timing wise. When is Nami coming? How is Nami coming? If you, for instance, say Gifts from Beyond into Nami first prio, setting up Nami as an Akshan blocker. Akshan hits the 1/1, Sivir and then 4/2 go face, you're down to 9. That's an okay result. Or you could try something a little different and just like look guiding and just like try to do something weird. I think it's just like simple stuff, guiding Nami, or not guiding, gifts Nami Sparkle, and then start with the Sparkle train, and I think that's exactly what happens. A bit of an interesting play from Ociti here, and I think this is the right line, is not to play Nami immediately, because it allows a mistake from the opponent. It's kind of like if you play Nami here right away, the opponent is the Sivir is going always, the 4/2 is going always, but it like allows them to pull with a non-Akshan target. No, and then you like see if Sunblast Vigor. It's definitely like considerably either way. It's possible that you think like if your opponent's respecting something like a Sunblast Vigor, then if you play Nami right away, that the 4/2 might not even be able to attack, and it's only Sivir coming in, or something weird on like that. But honestly, I don't think Kochua, if you play first prio Nami right now, Kochua can't afford to respect Sunblast. And this is an important point. Kochua can't afford to respect Sunblast because Nami goes to 4/6 or 3/6, so Nami's able to block Sivir and kill Sivir, which means Kochua's attack doesn't exist at all, right? If you have Sunblast, Kochua literally loses the game. And Kochua is not passing this attack. Like, he needs the Akshan hit, he needs the Sivir level up, he needs all this. So Kochua would be prospectively put into a position where he's unable to play around Sunblast Vigor, and he's like conceding to Sunblast Vigor at that point. And when you inevitably show him that you do not in fact have Sunblast Vigor, that is giving up a lot of very relevant information that you don't need to be giving up. So smart from Ociti to be not playing Nami here because it conceals a lot of information. Okay, attack comes through. It's an interesting to attack with Akshan on this. When you have 0 mana, it's like Sunblow's Vigor is pretty bad for you clearly, but it's just damage, right? Even the idea is, I think, a good one from Kochua's side. I don't disagree with this play at all because even if Sunblow's Vigor, first of all, like Nami is coming down at onto an awkward board with no mana, then like if Sunblow's Vigor here, like thinking on Kochua's side, if Sunblow's Vigor, you'd be like, okay, there's no Nami, right? Like if they play Sunblow's Vigor here, you know there's no Nami because if they have both Sunblow's Vigor and Nami, obviously your attack doesn't exist, as I just went over. And if they have Sunblow's here, you know there's no Nami and you're winning the game anyways. So it's fine to do this because you know from the past, since they didn't drop Nami, they don't have both Nami and Sunblow's. Right? Just reiterating, this is an important point. If they have Nami and Sunblessed, they drop Nami, threaten Sunblessed, use the Sunblessed to kill the Sivir for free. This is gonna become relevant later. Okay, go next. Nami down, and then does he play it? Yeah. Okay. I was about to say like, wait, did he really not play it? Yeah. Gotta use the mana. It would waste a mana to not play here. Get that down to 3/3. Nothing weird going on here. Okay. First prio here. What does OTD do? This is a bit interesting because there's a lot of lines. So from OTD's perspective, you're really thinking about how many can you beat between sharp sight and concerted. It's like how many are you able to win against? And the answer in this position, you're like getting smorked pretty bad. It's probably like 1 or 0 is like the number of sharp sights / concerted strikes that you're able to win against. So yeah, OTD is not really worried about a rally this turn. That's not really like, I don't know. It's not really a rally turn because it taps like Kochua too far out, and he's already used the 1 mana spell, so he's just out of things to do if he rallies. Like Akshan will level, but then like there really won't be anything else, and Nami will be able to like block a 4/2 and kill it or something crazy like that. So it's really just a really awkward turn for Kochua to rally. So you don't have to be worried about that in the short term. So you can definitely think about like, yeah, I know there's no rally, so maybe we go Sparklefly plus Guiding. Maybe we go even something like a Shelly or just like an open attack. Ociti decides to go, I think, Guiding into open. It's a fine play. You look to heal 5. Not committing too hard on the Sparklefly is really important here because of the concerted. Yeah, and definitely, even if like, what's it called? Even if OTD says like, I don't know, burst pass into play Sparklefly, attack with Sparklefly, that's not too bad either, right? It's not really the worst thing in the world either. I would kind of want to see more development from OTD on this turn. Like develop a little bit more, maybe even look to burble, like look pale, look to burble, something like that. I would want to see like maybe even just Sparklefly attack, something like that. Burst pass, see what's up. Because if you, for instance, burst pass on yeah, let's say instead of open attacking, we say guiding touch pass from OTD's side. Kochua's position gets a lot trickier because it's a lot less clear like what to do, because you kind of have to play Brightsteel Protector and threaten Akshan spell. Yeah, it gets a lot less, it gets a lot murkier for Kochua. So that comes in. It's pretty much forced to concerted onto Sparklefly. I guess I can explain a little bit of why you wouldn't want to, for instance, go for a sharp sight here and just trade. The reason being is you can get destroyed. And okay, so by get destroyed, I'm talking about opponent's Sparklefly living and healing them to full HP, and your guy dies, and you also don't have an attack. like if for instance you try like sharp side absolver and they have uh yeah enough to keep the sparklefly alive, it's instant game loss. And speaking of keeping the sparklefly alive, a cool point for this is if you didn't make that earlier deduction about the Nami and the sunless vigor, which maybe you didn't, that was kind of a I don't know, a bit abstract, I guess, even though it was like public info that there was no sunblast vigor last turn. Like once you see the Nami, you know there's no sunblast because the Nami sunblast block on Sivir. So that is public info. But now again, it's reinforced that there is no double sunblast, right? Because you're dealing 9 and your double sunblast would pump it to 10. So okay, here's the point in the analysis that I want to talk about a concept that I find interesting. It's not even like I don't even know if this counts as analysis, but there's kind of a continuum between on one end you have like security of like how likely your spell is to work in the way you think it's going to work. Like how likely is this concerted strike to kill the sparklefly? And on the other end, you have informational advantage of like how much do I of like if this resolves, how much do I know about my opponent's hand? And it is like a scale. So in this case, if the concerted were to deal like 15 damage or something, and the sparklefly were to die every single time, no matter what is in Ociti's hand, literally any combination of cards, he would press the blue button, say okay, go next. That is 100% like what was I say? What did I say it was? Security that it would work, and 0% informational. But this one is you're dealing 9, and if they have precisely double Sunblast Vigor, it won't work. So it is not 100%, it's like 98% to work. And you get that 2% of that informational advantage where you know they don't have double Sunblast, which is like, that's kind of a given because we already knew there was 0 Sunblast on turn 4, and you know there's not 2 Sunblast on turn 5. So they technically could have top decked 1 Sunblast. I don't know. It's not entirely relevant for this scenario, but I find it kind of interesting just as a concept to think about. So that resolves, and that's all the mana for Kochua's side. Ociti is left with a situation in which he's facing a very scary attack from a non-leveled Sivir. And I guess it's worth noting at this point his deck doesn't have Hush. Is that bit of non-standardness is becoming very interesting. But yeah, from the situation, let's see when did Akshan level up? Let me just just now, right? Oh shoot, did I miss the yeah I missed. I've been skipping ahead too fast where I missed. Yeah I missed the pick. Okay, so Akshan levels up, and then Kochua picks. I mean, clearly, you can't pick plus attack, and you can't pick sun chargers. There's only one to pick, and then again, there's only one choice to pick here. It's obviously Aegis. Like second Sivir is hyper trolling. The current Vagabond is even more trolling than that, and then Aegis is quite a good card, so there's no sense in skipping. Picks Aegis like a smart person would. And now Ociti is able to go, yeah. And so Ochiti's play here, before this this was played, was like a little awkward, right? It was like probably Sparkle Fly Pass, right? It was like going to be the play. But now that this, excellent little Akshan spell has been allowed, which he's able to make a smoother play. However, I will posit that it is not trolling to be playing your Akshan spells. I know this is a hot take. Please play your Akshan spells. Please do this. Please do that. Please play your Akshan spells. There was a lot of geniuses in the Twitch chat saying that like Kochua should be like not playing his Akshan spells. Please play your Akshan spells. If you were to, for instance, pass that Akshan spell away, you have to be like supremely confident in your ability to end the game into whatever exists from Ochiti's side. And by the way, Akshan Spell got the rally, so you did not have the rally. You had to be like 100% confident in your ability to win the game with only Absolver and Sharpsight as damage, which like obviously that's not enough damage. You need to play the Akshan Spell, is what I'm trying to say, guys. First Akshan Spell is not clear. I'll talk more about the second one later. Okay, so the Ociti gets a smoother play just because he uh, gets that down. He doesn't play the burble, interestingly. Actually, yeah, he passes this turn away without playing burble, which is a weird mistake to make. Because, okay, I say, yeah, it's I think it's pretty clearly a mistake in this situation because the only thing that really punishes uh, that burble getting dropped is like Fleet Feather Tracker. Even then, Fleet Feather's pulling the Sparkle Fly, so it's not even pulling the burble. Like it is a weird play for sure. It's he's kind of posturing. Oshiji's kind of posturing as if he's gonna like turbo juice his Sparkle Fly and like boost this thing to the moon, which like I don't get it. It's like very weird. I don't get why he's posturing like that when he clearly cannot boost this thing to the moon. And if he's been paying close attention, he would know that his opponent realizes that he doesn't have Stumble's Vigor, so the opponent also knows he can't boost this to the moon. It's like a weird bluff or just like, you know. I guess I should also mention at this point, I should have said at the start, but you can't really blame the players for making incorrect moves when they're like under this much pressure. Not to mention just like not like regardless of time pressure, which is hard to play under time pressure, but like you're in the finals of seasonal, you're playing for what $4,000 for this game three. Like it all comes down to this. It is really hard to play accurately, especially at the end of a long day. I think this is 8 hours into the tournament, guys. If you have never played matches 8 hours deep into a tournament, maybe you don't know the feeling, but like it is really hard to play accurately when you're this deep into a tourney. So any kind of literally any mistakes that get made can be excused, I think, at this point in the tournament. Like it's you're 8 hours deep. Come on. So no burble there. Opens up a window for Kochua to win the game. Now it's turn 6. This is the one that's uh the interesting turn for this match. So there's a lot of options for Kochua. Obviously, there's like thousands of possible game actions he could take on this turn, but there's only like 3 reasonable lines for him to take. Number 1, Brace to Protector on Sivir first action. Number 2, open attack. Number 3, Brace on Sivir, and then do other things later. So, uh, there's I can break down a little bit of what I would do here. Would be okay. I guess a different way to frame it is you have to decide one of two things, or one of two things. Either you're rallying or you're not rallying. That is, you have to decide: are you rallying or you're not rallying? And from to my eye, this looks like, yeah, your hand looks like you're just killing them. This is clearly a rally turn. They're on 11. Just rally, easy. Um, so I'd be looking to rally here for sure. You don't have to rally here though. That's definitely not. You'd be excused for not rallying. I think if you're not gonna rally, you have to be fully prepared to defend an open attack with Brace to Protector plus Sharp Sight, or not open attack. You have to be prepared to defend an open attack with Sharp Sight and defend a development with Brace to Protector, Akshan Spell, Sharp Sight. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you're not rallying this turn, you have to keep inside your hand Brace to Protector, Sharp Sight, and Akshan Spell. 3 things. And obviously the rally. So if you're not rallying this turn, you have to keep, say this again, you have to keep those 3 in your hand, which means your hand effectively consists of Absolver. If you're not rallying, let me say that again, your hand consists of Absolver, because you need those other 3 to defend against next turn's attack if you're not rallying this turn. Okay, so Brace to Protector play. If you Brace to Protector, it kind of it allows you to flex, right? It allows you to flex between rallying and not rallying. But it makes your defense against next turn's development suck. Like if they develop next turn, you're gonna be really sad. Obviously, if they don't die. So if you Brace Steal, you probably should be rallying. And if you what am I saying? If you're not rallying, you should just open attack, go absolver, 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 and just kind of see what happens. Try and kill both Nami and Sparkle. If you can't, that's fine. If one of them lives, that's okay. Just force them to spend as much mana as possible. Just absolver, absolver, absolver on open attack, and then rally next turn. That's viable. Or yeah, so the best two lines here are like the best one is probably look absolver on open and then fight for killing Sparklefly. Or the second best is like uh, go Brace to Protector and Rally. So yeah, I think like instinctively, like my game sense is telling me go Brace to Rally, but the longer I look at this position, I do think that like triple absolver on open attack is actually stronger. Especially given the possibility that the opponent has. We know that they're severely limited when it comes to HP buffs, which means Absolver, Absolver, Absolver has a very, very good shot of killing both Nami and Sparkle. So that's really my consideration is like Nami and Sparkle are very likely to die if you play triple Absolver in this position. So because we knew I've been very I've tried to be very, very clear about why we know that they do not have. We don't know for sure that they have zero. Obviously, Caster Vision says they have zero Sunless Vigor, but Kochua knows at the very minimum they don't have two, right? They don't have two at a very minimum, and then they probably don't have any because they would have had to top deck it on either turn 5 or turn 6. So, um, attack comes in. I want to compliment this attack order. It is beautiful. This attack order is actually just like making me smile. Because it allows it's just I don't know, it's not even hard to find, it's pretty. It just allows everything to work, and any other attack order would be like really, really bad to do. So makes me happy. So yeah, first things first, look lethal, right? Look lethal. Sivir's dealing 11 if you triple absolver here. That's really not enough given that there's like no guiding touch has been burned. I think if there was 2 guiding touches down, I slam this for sure. Or if I'm in a bit of a desperate position that I'm like thinking about just YOLOing it, this position is definitely favored for Kochua. He's thinking like no Sunblast, he can probably kill Nami and Sparkle. So, or even one Sunblast, even if one Sunblast, he can kill one of them if he triple absolvers, and he kills one of them and taps them out a little bit, taps them out pretty far. That's probably going to be good enough to win the game. Because then next turn he's got his punish lined up and ready to go. This is the first, yeah. So locking in this attack, super nice. Ociti makes a super smart play here. It's just like a good bait, right? Recognizing that he has like Nami dying is like super irrelevant. Letting Sivir, because Ociti knows that like Kochua's max damage is 11 here, so he doesn't die. Even if Kochua goes for max damage, you're not dead. And the fact that you kill 2 units prospectively means that rally sucks, right? Rally is just kind of not a threat at all from Ochi's perspective if this resolves. So you're alive, you're super alive. Second Nami comes down and you're pretty chilling. So yeah, we've got that. Ociti blocks, and then this is the priority of the game. This is like the golden moment. Kochua hits the pass button, which is a blunder for sure. Yeah, you can kind of divide mistakes up or into like blunder being like the worst of the worst, and then like mistake, and then maybe inaccuracy being like kind of innocuous. And yeah, that's like chess terminology, but I think it applies super well to LOR. This is like a super bad blunder. This pass is horrible. What Kochua needs to do is hit Absolver, because even if okay, I've been talking a lot about the no Sunblast thing. Let's forget that. Kochua has been under time pressure for the majority of this game. Let's say He has no idea about the no sunbless thing. He thinks double sunbless is a play, for sure. Even if double sunblessed, there is literally no world in which Ociti can save both of his units. One of them will die, for sure. This is guaranteed. One of them will die. Like, we know no double sunblessed. One of these dudes will die. All right. And second point, if Ociti has a spell thief in his hand, which, you know, I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say super unlikely that he's got it in his hand, because number one, Akshan leveled last turn, right? And the Nami Sparkle on board with 1 mana, right? Nami Sparkle on board with 1 mana, staring down what is a very scary attack. There's really no reason for Ociti to hold onto a spell thief in that situation, especially knowing that like Kochua is going to cast more spells, and if he blocks like this, Kochua casts some spells and then spell thief in response. You sometimes miss. It's it's like there's really no reason for Ociti to hold on to a second spell thief should he have had one last turn. So you can say that there's in these 5 cards at the bottom of the screen here, none of these are spell thief. You can basically know that for sure, because it's such a strong play. Like, think about it. It's such a strong play last turn to go, you know, post combat spell thief plus, like, he already last turn went like, I'm not gonna scroll back in the video that far, but he like, yeah, didn't play burble, but he could juice his posturing was that like he was gonna juice the burble up enough to lifesteal, right? He's pretending like he's gonna juice the burble to lifesteal, and going spell thief plus predicting into a spell is like every bit as good as stealing a sharp sight from this perspective of damage. So yeah, you pretty much know there's no spell thief here from the side of Kochua, or maybe it got top decked. But yeah, even if it got top decked, I should also say, if it got top decked, it would be a catastrophic result if Ociti was forced to use it during combat here, because obviously he wants to use it on the horde and grab something good off the top of his deck, and obviously it's 0 mana as well, so it's insane with Shelly. If he was forced to use spell thief in combat, that is just absolutely horrifically bad for him. So he won't. I think he would literally, or he might have to, but it's just really really bad for him. So not using absolver here is like really inting. Maybe he's, yeah. Again, you can't fault anyone for too much of making mistakes this deep into tournament, but that was the moment that lost the game. Like, that is, oof, that's really really bad. First of all, remember those 3 cards that we were saving for next turn if we didn't rally, that were the defensive cards? They were Sharp Sight, obviously, Bryce Steel to negate healing, and the third one was the Akshan spell, which we just lost for free. We just gave that up with no fight, which is super bad. Yeah, ouch. Yep. Second Nami comes down, and now Kochua, I think, is a bit of sunk cost fallacy type of position where he's like, all right, wait a second, I need to rally now, which is like, yikes, you know? It's a yikes. It's a yikes position, because this rally, I think, is like, the paths on that during combat was like really horrible, and then this rally is like very nonsensical. I don't think I need to like explain too much about like why this is bad. I think it really does have a simple explanation. That being, Ociti has 11 HP and Kochua has 10 power, which means, as things stand, Kochua can attack, and, you know, he can develop a unit, but then he'd be tapped out and Nami becomes a blocker and everything becomes horrible. So he can't really develop, right? He can't really develop. I guess he could if he really felt like it, but it doesn't increase his damage because Nami becomes a blocker. So he doesn't get more damage by blocking, or he doesn't get more damage by developing. So basically his max damage here is 10, which is And if he, for instance, thought Ociti was on like triple Sunblast Vigor or something weird like that, this play makes even less sense, right? So if he didn't want to fight on the stack in combat, where he was super favored to win on the stack, and if we made the correct hand reads, he was deterministic to win that fight on the stack. Uh, this is like avoiding, or it's saying like, okay, I think he has an HP buff for Nami. You know, I think he has an HP buff for Nami in his hand, and then you go and do a play like this in which any HP buff for Nami allows the opponent to gain 4 HP and not die here. It's very like, I don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and I'm not going to dwell on it too much because I think it is just it's a mistake that like would not happen at the beginning of a tournament when he's fresh, you know. So Burble comes down, giving Spell Thief, which is whew, that is just unlucky. Like Kochua is like he's got to be mauling at this one. This is just unfortunate. He gets another blocker just for free, just off of the burble spell, which is second Spell Thief, by the way. Like that's pretty stupid. And then the Nami is able to block as well. So he goes to 8. I think Ociti makes another mistake here and just like takes 4 damage for no reason. That's kind of random. I don't know why he did that. Like playing around Sivir spell here is like ostensibly the reason that he would take this 4. But then consider this guiding touch. Like what? I don't get it, dude. Why is he so scared of Sivir spell? He's literally got a guiding touch in his hand, and he has a Sunblast Vigor. It's just makes no sense to me. Okay, so he goes down to 4 instead of 8. Very weird, but I guess that is something. End of the tournament type of thing. Okay, so Ociti here has to look lethal. Like he knows for sure he is not surviving. At the very least, even if by some miracle Ociti is able to survive next turn, he knows for a fact that his Sparklefly is not gaining him any HP. He has to like look lethal here, and he's got to get the job done. So he has to lethal for sure. So first action Shelly is the way. Brace to Protector on Sivir, super nice. Setting up Akshan spell, setting up Sharp Sight. You know that Akshan spell Sharp Sight is your play, so yeah, perfectly navigated. So he comes down, and then we have to just like, for Ociti, it's just like the plan is just double spell and Prage on no Sharp Sight. This one is a little nonsensical, right? This one is a bit bad for Kochua. It's uh so I don't think he would have made this mistake. Obviously, like okay, so since Oshi just develops a unit, he's got to cast the Akshan spell. That's the timing is great on the Akshan spell. He knows the timing. The target, however, is he picks the third best target on this board. Both Nami and Shelly would be better targets. Maybe not Nami, but like, okay. So we can do the math here. You're on 19. You're full HP basically. You can expect to take 8 from Sparklefly, 7 from Burble, 5 or maybe 6 from Zoe, 5 damage, let's say. Maybe 6 because he cast 2 spells, let's say. So maybe 5 from Shelly, 5 from Zoe, 7 from Burble, and 8 from Sparklefly. So okay. I don't think Kochua would make the mistake if the lifesteal keyword was not written on Sparklefly. And in this game state, lifesteal may as well not be written on Sparklefly because Kochua is blocking the Sparklefly, negating the lifesteal on the barrier this turn, or negating the lifesteal with the barrier next turn, and then next turn, Sparklefly is not going to get to lifesteal because of quick attack on the whole board, and we know the quick attack will definitely be on the whole board because there's no hush in this deck. So then you might think, okay, but what if Kochua thinks that the Sparklefly's HP can get buffed up to a point where it can lifesteal next turn? That's also not a valid argument because the Sparklefly's HP can only rise using Shelly. Nami, look at this board. Nami will never ever hit the Sparklefly. The only HP buffs can come from Shelly and literal cards that buff the HP of the Sparklefly. So You know, in the hand we see these like 5 HP buff in hand, and then Shelly, so it's like it can get up to like whatever 8 HP, 9 HP, 10. Honestly, it doesn't matter what the HP of this guy is. You have so many buffs. You have plus what? Plus 8 damage on in your hand. It literally cannot it no amount of buffs can help the Sparklefly survive an attack. Like it's yeah, very clearly hit the Shelly here, and this game is won. But this is actually the last decision that Kochua gets to make in this game, because it's the final turn. He ends up dying in this turn. It's the last decision he gets to make. Unfortunately, picks the wrong one in a series of really unfortunate events, which just keeps giving third Spell Thief, actually the second Spell Thief in the deck, the third Spell Thief total, comes out, hits the horde, and then we just smurf, and there's no decisions left to be made, so there's no analysis to be done, but it's just exact 20, and Kochua is dead from this point. So let me address quickly. Let me see if I can get a screenshot where the thing is on screen. About the horde. About the horde. Why does every single Twitch chat genius say that playing the horde was what lost this game? It's I don't know. Okay, so is this? Yeah. Why? I'm trying to get a screenshot with the ephemeral horde on the screen, but I can't seem to find it. Oh well. Horde gets played. Yeah. And Spell Thief on horde. So let's count. Let's count while the horde is okay, let me go back and find a screenshot with this on. Yeah. Here we go. There's a screenshot with the horde on the board. Alright. Sorry that took me forever. The horde ephemerally here. The only reason not to play the horde, and this is, by the way, it is true that playing the horde decreased Kochua's win chance from 100 to another number that was not 100, which is not the correct maneuver. Like if you were to give this position to an engine, it would be not playing the horde. True. However, I think this is such like an inconsequential mistake in the grand scheme of the game. This is like does not matter at all. I think if you were to like be doing, if you were to be like coach was his coach or something, and you were trying to tell him like pointers of like what should have been done better, I don't even think you would mention this. I think this is like so irrelevant. It decreases win chance from 100% to like 99.9 something. I don't feel like doing the math, but it's like he is still basically deterministic to win the game. And here's why. Let's do some math. Okay? We love math. Sivir, I wonder, can you guys see my mouse? Oops. What is happening here? Okay, never mind. I just hope you guys can see my mouse. 6-3, getting blocked by Sivir. Okay, let's consider what's actually on the board here. The attack is like ostensibly dealing 4. We see clearly like we can expect there to be about 2 spells being played. Both the buffs are gonna, first buff's gonna go onto Zoe, making her a 3/2. Second buff's gonna also go into Zoe, making her, or no, second buff's gonna be Shelly first, and then Nami buff onto Shelly. So Shelly's gonna be 5, Zoe's gonna be 6, Zoe's gonna be 4. Yeah, Shelly's gonna be 5, Zoe's gonna be 4. This is gonna be 7, but it's not. It's gonna get blocked, so it doesn't matter. So this is 4. This is, wait, what did I say? 4 and 5. So you're taking 9. You're down to 10. So you have 10 life to spare. And that's if Ociti has 2 spells remaining, which is like, that's likely, sure. 2 spells remaining, you're on 10. You're expecting to be on 10 life. Maybe if one of those spells is a pale, you go down to 9. Maybe if even, you know, you go down to 10. If Spell Thief happens, what now, right? Spell Thief into anything but the Fount of Power. Not even the first auction spell. It has to be Fount of Power. Spell Thief have to, again, specifically hit Fount of Power. You're still not dead. Spell Thief into spells, any spells, you're not dead. Spell Thief into, what's it called? Units that are not burble fish, you're not dead. there's actually has to be top deck spell thief because you know there's no spell thief. Uh, you know you literally knew from last turn that there is no spell thief, so it has to be top deck spell thief into specifically burble fish, and the spell thief has to hit the bonfire. So it's like he has to go literally runner 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 off of like three random results. The first one of even having a spell thief right now is just super super unlikely. Like I don't know percentage wise what you might estimate him to be, like the chance he holds spell thief on this turn. But if you've been astute with your hand reading and realizing that like basically immediately upon drawing it, Ociti is going to be casting spell thief just because like it gives him fount of power and refills his gas, right? So if he has it, he will cast it. If he draws it, he'll cast it the same turn, basically always. Especially now that he's shelly on the board. So you basically know he has to top deck it, and the odds of him top decking, and he's played two of them before. One of them came from purple, but he has to top deck the second copy. It's like, come on, we're playing around, and even if he does that, it doesn't win in the game. It's like, honestly, this part I would say is like very very inconsequential compared to the other stuff that went down. Like there were points in this game where he lowered his win percent from like 90 to 30 or something. Not even like, I don't know, just other swings. I'm making numbers up, but like other swings that were like really really huge swings. Uh, this one is like like a barely even a pixel. It's like on the scale of blunder, mistake, inaccuracy. This is like below inaccuracy. It's like not even an inaccuracy. So honestly, I would not focus on that too much. But yeah, unfortunate. It really is unfortunate that Kochua didn't win this tournament because he'd been lineup diffing people all day. And even in the finals, he found like he was facing a lineup that he was favored into. So it's unfortunate that it had to be this way. He got he got scientifically speaking, he got the shit high rolled out of him in the final match. But it is true that he allowed it to happen. So well played, champion Ociti. That's I guess that's it for my analysis video. Let me know what you think of my analysis. Don't comment on YouTube, by the way. Just DM me on Discord. I will definitely not check YouTube comments. So hit me with the DM on Discord if you have thoughts about the analysis or the game in general, or deck building on Sivir and Akshan. I'd love to hear it. But there's that. Thanks for watching.